Hi and welcome back to Gavin's Sonex B. Well, I'm still working on the instrument panel. Made some progress, cut lots of holes, made a few mistakes and got to use my 3D printer, which was good fun. So I'll update you on where I am. So the mock-up of the panel is looking like this now. So it's a lot more complete than it was. So we've got our mixture control, our transponder, radio, trim control, mini EFIS, flaps, EMS, engine control I suppose, and master. So we've got our master switch and fuse, a voltmeter, the mag and ignition switches, the start switch and the turbo cooling switch. Then in the center the compass would normally be sitting on top, and then we've got the airspeed indicator, the ball in a tube and the altimeter. And then moving right from that we've got the fuse panel board, which has the fuses and some switches for the auxiliary electrical circuits, which there are going to be 3 lights, that's navigation lights, comms, which is the radio and the transponder, and the EFIS EMS system as well. Flaps etc. will be unswitched but fused below. I've cut the hole for my glove box and you can see the container behind. I've made a couple of brackets which are now attached with clecos, and the glove compartment looks good. I haven't yet created the hinge system to mount the tablet as a door yet. And then on the right hand side here we've got some power outputs for auxiliary equipment for charging phones and stuff like that. And as I said, I've left a space for a second radio head in case I decide to add one for the passenger to fiddle with the radio. So that's basically how it is. It's all gone together well. I've been using the 3D printer to print out some escutcheon plates basically, and the ones that are on there at the moment are just prototypes that I've printed out. I designed them using Autodesk Fusion 360, which seems to be the most common thing for doing this sort of 3D design. I've never really done this before, and spent a couple of days learning how to use the software, then exporting the files into the Bamboo Studio software, which actually sends it to the printer, and printing them out, and I've made lots before coming up with the right combination. So there are 2 escutcheon plates, and they will ultimately be printed in black ABS, but at the moment they are in white PLA, which is a different type of plastic. As I say, I've been using Fusion 360, which looks a bit like that, to design the 3D models, and then transferring those over to Bamboo Studio, which is the software that comes with my printer, and that allows you then to position the parts that you want to print onto the table inside the printer, and then you tell it to print it. It sends all the information over to the printer and it makes it on there. Very, very clever. I don't pretend to know how it all works. There's a cloud involved, I know that, but more than that I don't know, and I don't really want to know. It works. So it's been quite good fun, and I've learnt a lot, and I'm learning more. Had to keep ringing up my eldest son in the UK because he is the 3D printing master, and he's been giving me sending me little videos, like 60-second teaching videos of how to do things. Oh dear, I am getting old. Anyway, that's the way that engineering's done now, kind of remotely, rather than getting your piece of metal out and filing it. You do it all on a computer, and then a machine just makes it for you. So that's where I am at the moment. The next thing I've got to do basically is to design the hinge mechanism for the door and get the prototype printed out for that, and get the holes drilled in the panel. Then I need to strip the entire panel down and basically prepare it for painting. I've decided to go for a sort of standard medium grey aircraft instrument panel colour, a glossy one. So I am going to clean it up, make sure all the holes are nice and clean, and then spray it in my little spray booth up in the loft, and we'll see how that comes out. Anyway, more later. So a few days have passed. I've been busy with my file, drilling some holes on the computer, designing hinges and flaps and things, and printing a few things out, and I'll show you where I've got to now. So the first thing I'm going to show you is I've been experimenting with my escutcheon plates with putting some writing on them. I think that camera's back to front by the looks of it, or it is when I'm looking at it anyway. Let's turn the camera around the other way. There we go. You can see the writing on it now. So basically I've printed it out with the writing on it, and it's embossed into the surface at the moment. I can either emboss it into the surface or make it stand proud. And my idea is to use a syringe to infill the writing with a contrasting paint, or maybe resin. I don't know yet. I've got to do a few experiments to work out what's the best, but that's what I've been doing there. And on the instrument panel itself, I have finished cutting holes into it. Now, when I started off, there were, I think, 61 holes already in it, which were the ones for the rivets all the way along the bottom on the hinge, and the ones around the top for the screws which are going to hold it onto the glare shield. And I have now added 84 more holes into it. So it's quite complicated, and it's been fun getting them in the right place. Made a couple of small errors which I've managed to correct, and they won't be seen because one of the main ones was I got that hole in the wrong place and had to move it sideways, but luckily it's under the escutcheon plate. And you'll see also that I've come up with the sort of idea for my hinged door, which the tablet is going to be attached to, and printed out a prototype, and I must say it does work rather well. And that's what I'm looking at the moment. Haven't really thought about how I'm going to hold it open in order to angle the tablet towards me, but I'm sure an idea will come, and because we're printing this out, I can make as many of these doors as I want, all different varieties. It's going to have a blind catch on it. Now this is where I may have made a big mistake, because, well, it's not a big mistake, but it's a potential mistake. I've decided, or I decided in the shower one morning, that a magnetic catch was probably a good idea. And that's right up to the point when I actually drilled the hole to fit the magnetic catch, and then I thought, hold on, I've got a compass sitting on top of the instrument panel, and it's only about a foot away. And is the magnet in the door mechanism going to affect the compass? The compass does have an adjustment on it to take out any sort of magnetic interference, but I'm not sure, so that may have to be looked at again. In the true spirit of experimental aircraft, I am going to experiment and see whether or not it does affect it, because I also have a fluxgate compass in the back of the aircraft as well, which will tell me whether the normal compass is reading correctly or not. So we can compare the two readings and see whether or not they agree with each other. Apart from that, all the other holes are cut. I've done everything I need to do. I've pop riveted on the brackets to go to hold the glove box in, and I am ready to paint. And this may take me a couple of goes, because I'm not really 100% sure what colour I actually want to do it. I've been down to the local DIY shop and bought some spray paint, in fact a couple of different shades. I think I may have gone too dark. I wanted a lighter grey really, but they didn't have a lot, to be quite honest. What I've come back with is an anthracite grey, which is obviously very dark, and a medium grey, which is a metallic. And I don't know what that's going to look like either. So again, some more experimentation. I'm going to do a couple of test pieces and see what it looks like. If it looks horrible, I'll be back down the DIY shop, or a different DIY shop, and see if I can find some different paint. But that's basically where I am at the moment. So hopefully the next time you see me, I will have painted the panel. That will be quite a big step forwards. It's something I've not been looking forward to, doing this panel, and I know Andy Gaunt in Australia is having the same trials and tribulations with his instrument panel, because making the decisions as to where everything goes is stressful. It is stressful. And you just about think you've got it right, and then you realise that, oh, I can't move this, or I can't get that, or I can't turn this, or this is in the way, or I don't like the look of that, and then you end up doing it all over again. Anyway, the good news is it's an experimental aircraft, so we can experiment as much as we like with this. If we have to make it twice, we have to make it twice. It's not a big deal. Hoping that I get it right. I'm quite interested to see that Andy's put a pod underneath the middle of his instrument panel. I wanted to do the same, but I thought it was going to interfere with the control stick. So I don't know whether I've cut my control stick longer than he's cut his, or what. I'm going to go out in the garage and have a look and see what the clearance is, but I'm pretty sure mine doesn't miss the bottom of the instrument panel by very much. Why that would be, I don't know. But anyway, so that's where we are. I've also got to spray, well, I'm going to spray the glove box on the outside black, so it looks shiny black on the inside. And I've got to print out the final designs for the escutcheon plate and the glove box door. So anyway, I'll busy away and do that, and I'll catch up with you guys a bit later on. More later.